UCI Cyclocross World Cup. It's round 8, and we are here in France in the Loire-Atlantique department at Pont-Château, and the UCI Cyclocross World Cup returns after some 8 years away. 2011 was the last time that Pont-Château hosted the World Cup. Of course, the World Championship venue 15 years ago. And we're getting ourselves ready for the women's race, which is just about to kick off. The riders have been called up to the start. And we should be bringing you that front row very shortly. Now, I can tell you the running here is pretty fast. A little bit of rain over the last few days, but the surface under the tyres is quick. In the earlier junior and under 23 men's races, saw big bunches for most of the race. So, and you can see there's a long tarmac straight here. The last climb is tarmacked as well. So potentially we could see riders staying together. Here's the front row. The European under-23 champion and current under-23 World Cup leader, Ceylinde Karam Alvarado of the Netherlands. The evergreen Katie Compton there in the US National Champions jersey. 15 times US champion. And by her standards, not the best of series that she's had. Only one podium visit so far for Compton. Then it's Lois Sels running for the Paul Salzen Vasco Service team. The Belgian rider. Sels currently 5th in the standings with a best finish so far of 5th. Then along her, the diminutive figure of Caitlin Keogh, the American. Kicked off with a couple of good rides. One, of course, in Iowa City. Then alongside Vos is there as the leader of the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup, Marianne Vos, alongside the European champion, Anne-Marie Worst. So we're into the 30-second countdown. Azufi there as well, having scored a podium in Tabor, Czech Republic, the teammate of Worst. But it's a new debut in those CCC Live colours for Marianne Vos, and she gets a great start, sprinting away, and it's her compatriot and the other rider in the Telenet leaders jersey, the under-23 leader. Alvarado goes straight onto the wheel of Marianne Vos. Keogh has got a good start too. You can see riders trying to muscle their way through as they drop onto the grass now. But already Vos at the front, taking them through. Now, there's no, you may have noticed on that front row, no Sanakant. The world champion has opted not to race, and that has handed virtually the World Cup title to Marianne Vos. As long as she finishes in the points, effectively, Anne-Marie Worst would need to win with Marianne Vos scoring badly to have any chance of taking it down to the final round at Hurghada. And I think that is going to be an unlikely outcome. And look at this already. Marianne Vos leading them through. Compton is there in 3rd place. Worst moving up. Nikki Brameyer in the British National Champions jersey that she won last week, moving up as well. The Dutch having a very good season this year. Lechner, once again in the tricolore of the Italian champion. Coming through. Magli Rochette as well, might have just seen coming through is the with the white jersey with the multi-coloured pattern on it. That's the Continental Champion of the Americas, the Canadian. So it's Dutch 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Vos, Alvarado, Vust, and then comes Compton. Then it's going to be Ellen van Looy. A best result of 4th for her this season so far. Denise Betsma, also there, the winner in Coxsider. Been a great season for her, Betsma. Sitting in there in 8th, just behind Sells and just ahead of Valzufi, and Brammeyer moving up now. So Brammeyer 2nd behind Betsma, looking to build on that form she's coming into. It's a tough course here in terms of the speed, makes it extremely hard. But fortunately, because it hasn't been so wet, the technical sections aren't too greasy or slippery. There's a lot of up and down in this course, culminating with quite a long drag up to the finish. Looks as well like looks like Inga van der Heijden has moved up well through the first set of steps. No problems. Saw a mix of choices in some of the earlier races as to whether riders would ride or run those steps. And just, you may have noticed on the back of Van der Heijden, and also you'll see Alvarado, the black numbers. That is the black background with the white number. That marks out the riders who are U23. No Evie Richards, she's had that knee operation. The former, the two-time under-23 world champion and former World Cup winner, of course, won in Namur last year. So, good potential for this to all bunch up again on the drag up to the finish as they go up the second set of steps. And then they've got, from there, it's going to be a couple of little climbs, including the obstacles to deal with as they head towards the long final last climb. Marianne Vos keeping the tempo high here at the front. Little grit of the teeth there from Betsma. She moves up to 4th place past Compton. Sels, Van Looy, Van der Heijden, Arzufi. Also moving up as well, Christine Martius for Boels Dolman's team, the Luxembourg champion, an accomplished rider on and off-road, as many as the riders are. Great versatility for so many of these riders here. And it's starting to just stretch a little bit. That gap, Lois Sells isn't able to stay with that, and the gap is opening up for these 5. Sells just a little bit in between. Just a chance to watch the technique here. Great technique there from Marianne Vos. Quite shallow steps though, so they do allow a little bit of momentum. Here's onto the this is the long drag, and expected all to bunch up, and a chance for Vos just to have a little look around, see who's in there, who's in the mix. And she'll look across, she'll see the young gun, Alvarado. And now moving up as well, the European champion is moving up. And that's Anne-Marie Vorst, just over on the left of your picture. So the Dutch up there in numbers. Arzufi is up there as well. I think Majerus and Brammeyer have just come across as well to that group. So it's a healthy size group, then a little gap. Keogh and Lechner are the next riders to come through. Then it's going to be the chasing group really coming through then, headed up by Maud Capiens. She's trying to get across to Keo and Lechner, and we're seeing it, starting to see this select group moving up, and as they go through this undulating course, this time now it's Lo Cells who's moved to the front. So the climb just allows them to all come back together, and now Cells, who looked like she was just a little bit trying it hard to get across the gap when they were on the grass. She seems to be comfortable enough, though, setting the pace now. And on her wheel is the Italian Arzuffi. Got that brilliant finish behind her teammate Wurst for the Stalart 777 team. Got her first podium on the cold, icy conditions in Tabor. Captains coming across. Then it's going to be Sophie Deboer. She's had, there's been quite a few riders up there in the top 5. Had a fair bit of variation. Oh, just looking back, that's that sweeping left-hander. They come into that speed. That's one of the French. Oh, that's not good. That is not good. I think that's, she's hit that post hard. Can't quite see which rider it is. Ah, it's one of the Nesta riders. Just wondering if that might be Lucia Gonzalez from Spain. But we very quick into that corner, and they're getting right up against the barriers to get through. Compton then hitting the front. Woman who, I think it's safe to say, is coming into the later stages of her career. Not quite, nowhere near as dominant as she was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but still a class act. Suffers greatly with her pollen allergies. So it's very much dependent upon kind of how the weather conditions are for Katie Compton. Remember, of course, she's been a Paralympian as well as a pilot of a tandem. Been a crit champion as well in the US. So fantastic turn of speed coming in. Maybe not quite up to the Olympic road race champion Marianne Vos. Her turn of speed. It'll be interesting to see. Just seen Fleur Nagangast has moved up as well. So Arzuffi, oh, that's not looking too good there. I think that is Lucia Gonzalez. Certainly one of the Nesta team. Yeah, that is going to be Gonzalez. So we wish her well on that recovery. But at the front of the race, looks like Alvarado just eased off the pace a little bit here as Compton has injected a little bit of speed. Vos, second place. Then comes the Italian Arzuffi. Then it's out. Then it's the under-23 World Cup leader Alvarado. Anne-Marie Vos just moving up past her. Very good ride as well from Inga van der Heijden, the teammate of Marianne Vos on the CCC Live, the new colours for that team. The Valdils team merging effectively with the CCC team, which is given a men's and women's squad, and CCC, of course, with the Polish team joining with BMC to create that new World Tour squad. And they've got a very strong lineup, men and women. But here, Vos debuting the orange in the World Cup. Also riding well, another one of the youngsters, that's Yara Castellin from the Netherlands. Staylat 777, teammate of the women in third and fourth there. Compton goes back to the front to take over the pace, and again we're starting to see a selection moving out on this part of the course. The potential then for them to come back on the long drag as riders start to ease up, but it's Compton, Vos now moving up as well. Betsma just looking back. Van Looy just in the background, just looking to see over the obstacles. No major problems here, looks like, for anyone. And of course, crucial to have your bike ready in the right gear for when you touch down and clip back in so that you can just move away. So let's have a look. We've chipped a few riders off. Bramai is one of the ones that has got shipped out. Keogh just in the background, I think, there. It is Caitlin Keogh, the winner in Iowa City. Just bring that group across. Just looking to see, it looks like Nikki Bramai has been shelled out here. Lechner, Majerus. Then it's going to be Sophie Debois. Aida Nuno Palacio, Manon Bakker, Laura Vandenschot, Marlene Petit. She's the first of the French, and Marta Troyen rounding out the top 20. So just looking to see, it does look like Nikki Bramai may have had some problems. Into the pits for low set. There is Bramai. So Sells came in. So did Bramai have a problem maybe? And will she be able to close in? It's bunched up again after the tarmac. Van der Geyden having a very good ride here at the moment. Interesting to see who's starting to put down their markers for the U23 category. Just looking to see, and yeah, Nikki Bramai dropping down to the 30s. So problem for her on that last lap. Fleur Nugengast on the wheel of Katie Keogh. Caitlin Keogh going through. Katie Compton, though, is on the front here. And the Stars and Stripes has a little look across. Two of the wiliest competitors, the most experienced riders in this race at the front. Compton and Vos. Then it's Arzufi, and now great ride here from Van der Geyden. Not only is she trying to make her mark as the leading under-23 rider, but looking to try and get herself an overall podium finish here in Pont-Château. Compton. That compact, powerful style. Driving the bike on. Betsma coming through. Some people regarded her very much as a mountain biker, Betsma, but her win at Coxsider in the dunes, that really showed what a competent cross rider she is. And she is just poised there behind Arzufi on the Italian's wheel. Then comes Van der Geyden, first of the under-23 riders. Then it is Anne-Marie Wurst, the only rider that can potentially overtake Vos, I would say. And she would need Vos to have an absolute nightmare here to have any chance of doing that. Standings as they are, Vos has 414 points. Sanakant, who isn't here, she's on a training camp. She's on 358, then Vorst 314, Keo 294, Sells 289, Lechner 277, Alvarado 267, Van Looy 266, Brand 265, and Betsma 260. So there's such a great opportunity for riders to move right up in the standings here with a good ride at Pont-Château. Nobody has had a perfect set of results really so far this year. Lechner opting to ride the steps. Multiple champion in cyclocross and mountain bike. Eva Lechner, World Cup winner in both disciplines. Made it look easy. And Betsma hits the front now for the first time. Can Keo get herself back to the lead group? Maybe Lechner as well can start to move up. De Boer is with her. Marjarus just in the background, but Betsma now. Oh, looked like a little problem there. Did she miss a gear, maybe? Just seemed to slow. Vos managed to move up. Did very smoothly through the obstacles. Keo still not quite able to close the gap to the lead group on this part of the course, and it's just a long drag now. Just looking, there was a look down, and yeah, the gear slipped. Foot came out of the pedal for Betsma, and that just broke her momentum coming into the obstacles. And Vos, super smooth, went straight back to the front, and she's back to setting the pace here. Compton just moving up onto the shoulder, moving through once again. We've seen her moving through on a couple of occasions just to keep the tempo going. On to the tarmac climb. And this makes it look deceptively shallow. It is a little bit steeper than the picture makes it look here. As and the chase is De Boer. Looks like she's starting to move away from Lechner. Got that tantalising view of the lead group just in front. And again, great ride here from Yara Castellan, the young Dutch rider. She's managing to stay in there. Giving away nearly 19 years to Katie Compton. Oh, that's a big crash. That is a big crash. And it is Castellan. It was Castellan. I was just saying about how well she's going. And that's that corner that is tough. It's the disappointment as much as anything, I think. The disappointment that she was riding so well, and then look, just caught the bike over the bars. Van der Heijden was lucky not to get collected there. I think I think the foot came out and went into the spokes there, because she clipped her pedal, and I think that's thrown her foot round. It goes into the spokes, and then of course it's just the same as putting a stick into the spokes. The wheel stops. She catapulted over the handlebars, and even if she makes her way to the pits, that is not going to be a good output. There is Lucia Gonzalez. Hopefully she is okay. Saw her crashing earlier on that self-same corner. Carrying a lot of speed into there. And if you clip one of those wooden posts, the chances are the post is going to come out on top. Wow, back to the front of the race. And we're seeing someone new putting the pace in. And it's more captains for Team Charles. Just looking again. Oh, there's another rider gone down there. It is the same area, just that group. That's, I think that could be Marlène Morel. I think the commissaires might be having a look at that corner ahead of the men's race, because that's now 3 bad crashes that we've seen at that point. I think that is going to be Marlène Morel. It is Marlène Morel Petit-Girard for the Cineo Connect cycling team. Taken out of contention now. So it's captains Betsma, Vos. Then comes Azufi, Vost. And then Alvarado. I think that's going to be game over in that race for the French woman. Compton just on the back of the group there behind Ellen Van Looy. And it's starting to look now like this is going to be the selection for the winners to come from maybe these 6 or 7 riders. Captains pushing the pace now. Best place of 5th so far for more captains in this season's Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup. Vos with 3 wins so far. 3 wins, a second and a third. Opted out of a couple of races. But Vos just sat in behind Betsma. And then the chase group, Keogh once again coming to the front to try and muster some sort of chase here alongside Vorst and Alvarado. Alvarado has been a bit of a gradual threat coming on. We knew she was a good under-23 rider, but she's starting to be a serious threat to these elites as well. European champion, of course, and leading the U23 World Cup. The Dutch trio at the front then. Captains Betsma and Vos. And they are opening up that lead now. They've got probably about 4 or 5 seconds, I think, over Vorst. And it looks like Alvarado in 5th. And then a little gap further back then to the rest. So it's the 2 European champions, the elite and the U23 European champions, giving chase to these 3. And what that actually means is it's the Netherlands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then comes Compton. She's got back up to the wheels of Alvarado. Van Looy in there as well. So in the top 7, 5 Dutch, 1 Belgian, 1 American. Oh, frustration from Katjan. She wants Betsma to go onto the front. I don't want to do all the pacemaking, she says. Betsma comes to the front. And that could play into the hands of the chasing group. If these 3 argue, let's see that again. She looked across, waiting for someone to come through. To be fair, it wasn't like she flicked an elbow. She looked over one shoulder, and Besma was on the other shoulder and got the full force of captain's disapproval. Next chase group, Keo leading them through with 2 under-23 riders. This is Nergengast and Van der Heijden, who currently sit second and third in the U23 standings. And De Boer starting to move through menacingly towards that group ahead. Lechner is the next. Then it's Majerus, the Luxembourg world champion. And Malin Petit, the first of the French. And Nuno Palacio from Spain. Betsma this time. The rider who's looking for someone to take over some pace here. And Vos obliges. She goes to the front. Just to round out the top 20. At the moment, it's Bakker, Hegel, Manny, and Verdenschot in the top 20. Good ride from the US riders. Courtney McFadden in 21st, Faranga in 22nd, Honsinger in 23rd. And just looking, some of the other riders we might have been expecting to see up there. Magali Rochette down in 29th. Low Sells has gone backwards. She's in 28th place. Brameyer in 30th. And Compton again trying to push the pace on. And it looks like Vos is just stretching them out a little bit now. Just trying to put the pressure on because she knows the chasers are coming back. Looks like Compton. Maybe they just sensed that the three in front had eased off the pace and that closed down, and that was enough now for Marianne Vos to decide to inject some speed into this race. Into the descent. Looking so smooth, Marianne Vos. Just picking the line. Nice and smooth, but Compton on the front again, driving the group to try and close in. Vos's trio will look across and they'll see Compton, Alvarado, Arzufi chasing here. And that necessary response from Vos has re-established their lead over the chasers, and it looks now like Captains has been gapped here. Vos has got rid of one of them. Can she get rid of Betsma now? The winner in Waterloo. The winner in Bern. And in Huizenzollern, Marianne Vos up against the winner in Koksijde, Denise Betsma. Captains unable to go with these two. Just couldn't see if there was a mechanical. I think it might have just been the elastic snapped. Does look like it because Captains is trying to come back. The good news from her point of view is still a buffer over the Compton group here. Compton, Alvarado, Forst, Arzufi, and Van Looy. Betsma onto the shoulder of Vos as they go over the obstacles. Oh, untidy from Captains. I don't know if that's tiredness, but just wasn't in the natural kind of rhythm as she went over those. De Boer leading through Van der Geyden and Nagangast. Keogh trying to stay with them. And now these two, if they can push on, they are going to gap significantly on Captains here. Besma setting the pace then. Vos happy to sit in on the back wheel. Has a little look. Now Besma has a little look just to see. And it's down to just Vos, but Captains chasing hard, trying to get back to them. The problem Captains has is, though, if she expends this energy to close the gap, if Vos and Besma go again, will she be able to stay? She's going to come back on the tarmac climb, but this is deceptive, really. I think that's Sandra Tavia who's going to get lapped here. It's Alvarado now, so Compton's been dropped here on the chasers as Captains tries to come back up, and she will come back up. But I think that could be a deceptive effort here. I think it's because Betsma and Vos had eased on the climb and on the tarmac. That's what's allowed Captains to come back. But the chase now is the two Dutch women behind. So it is Dutch first through to fifth. And it's Vorst and Alvarado. Then comes Van Looy. Then Arzoufi. Then Compton. Just Compton's looking down at the bike. Just wondering if she's got a gearing problem. I think looking down, she seemed to be flicking her shifter to see if something might happen. As they go back onto the rolling section of the course. And Besma getting the gas back on, and again starting to stretch the response of Mal Captains. Vos happy to follow. They let a little gap go there because you don't want to be right on the wheel of another rider on a descent, because if they make a mistake, you'll get drawn into it. You want to pick your own line, really, as you go through. Besma has a look. Oh, and Captains, as if to say, actually, I'm still very much in this race, comes through to take over the pace. Now, she looked like she was out of it earlier, so I wonder if it maybe was just a slip gear or something, which put her back by 10, 15 meters. She certainly looks strong enough now. She's back onto the front. Vos immediately slots onto her wheel. Chance just to have a look across there for Denise Betsma to see where the others might be. And the Marlux bingo rider happy at the moment, I think, just to sit on the back here as they set the pace, and it's stretched back out again. Re-establishing that lead once again over Anne-Marie Vorst and Carmen Alvarado. Absolute dominance here, though, by the Dutch. Looking ominous for the World Championship in Borensa in Denmark. In much the same way, it's earlier races have been ominous for some of the other categories. Just to update you, although we didn't bring you the coverage, Tom Pidcock taking another win in the under-23 men's race, and first ever win for Thibaut Nice in the junior men. So the legacy continues. That Cross dynasty in good hands. But here, it is all about the Dutch at the moment. 2 European champions locked in the battle for 4th place at the moment. And the under-23 European champion, Carmen Alvarado, is cementing her lead in the standings as the leading under-23 rider. That's why she has the jersey, the skin suit that matches that of the elite World Cup leader, Marianne Vos, at the front here. I think it's safe to say Captains just isn't as comfortable off the bike as these two. The running, we saw her through the hurdles as well. She just wasn't as comfortable. She's going to have to chase hard again to close the gap to Betsma and Vos. And every time you got to chase, that's a little bit more of your energy reserves that you have to go into. Vos, though, pretty much impassive, that face. Little grimace on the face of Betsma. Vos through the hurdles. Now let's see how Captains is on the hurdles this time. Just not as smooth for me. The bike doesn't come up high enough, for one thing. Just looks a little bit laboured. And again, that's probably going to equate to about ½ metre deficit as well. And when she comes onto the bike, she's not quite as fluid, not able to re-engage quite so quickly. And that has, you can see, stretched out the gap once again, back to 3rd place then. So Maud Captains, 5 seconds or so, the gap for her to close on 1st and 2nd. Betsma and Vos. If you were a betting man, I think you would say, in terms of the sprint, it's got to favour Marianne Vos. She's been a track champion. She's been road champion, cyclocross champion. And now they're going to get the bell when they come round. It's still Alvarado against Vorst for 4th place. I think Captains is out of contention now for this win, because to close that gap, I think, is just going to take too much out of her, especially when they hit the rolling first section of the course. That is when you see it's even harder to close. Vorst on the front, the head just bobbing around. Alvarado looks a little bit more solid. Back there in 5th place. Vos, though, when you watch her, it is all about an absolute economy of effort. She looks comfortable on the bike. And I just think that Captains is riding for 3rd now, as we're on to this final lap. She's got to hope that maybe there's a mistake. She's also got to go full out every chance. She's got to really take every possible risk to try and close that gap, and hope that these two will start to play cat and mouse up front, start thinking about the sprint, and give her a chance to come back. But at what cost to her energy? It's still about 5 seconds, so she's still got a chance. But I'm just not convinced that Vos is going to let let it come back. Betsma looking good as well at the front. These two looking comfortable, and they have stretched it out again over captains. So it's looking like it's going to be from these two for the win. It's certainly going to be a Dutch win. That is for certain, because the first 5 riders on course are from the Netherlands. Captains. It's that psychological blow soon that they get round a corner and they're out of sight. And that can have such an effect. Betsma keeping the pace high. Just lays off a little bit on that descent. Captains, as I say, has to take risks now if she wants to get back to these two. And to be honest, the opportunities, I think, are starting to evaporate. As they come to the first set of steps. Catching us into them. They are certainly clear, these three, but you can see now that in distance it's only maybe about 30 meters, something like that, but it may as well be 300 meters. Knowing how good the two riders ahead of you are. Okay, second set of step. Betsma, smooth, back on. Vos, serene in second. As they head back out to the open. Climbing up. And it's a short descent. And then the climb up to the two obstacles. And then it's all going to be about setting themselves up for the long drag up to the finish. Is Betsma going to try and get rid of Vos? Or Vos looking, oh, just clips her as she goes past and pushing on here. Wants to go into the obstacles ahead. And look at that, she's got 3 or 4 bike lengths lead and onto the power. And that's it, Vos. Vos is not waiting to let this go to a sprint. Just timed that perfectly. I think just going away as well puts that little psychological element as well that Betsma has to think, she's gone, I've got to respond. And just as they come to the obstacles as well. And this is superb riding from Marianne Vos. She is arguably the best all-round cyclist of all time. And I don't think that Betsma's going to come back to her. Onto the tarmac. And she's not going to come back. No way is Vos giving this up now. The skin suit zip goes up, getting ready into the straight. It's going to be another win. It's going to be win number 4 and the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup title with a race to spare for Marianne Vos. Marianne Vos of the Netherlands takes it. It's high fives for Denise Betsma. A second best result after that win in Koksijde. Oh, you can see though the effort that took. She may make it look easy, Marianne Vos, but it wasn't. Mart Captains, she tried to push them, but in the end, third place is going to be her rewards. And a very solid third place as well. I think Vorst has just come in there. Oh no, Alvarado for fourth. Van Looy takes fifth. Arzufi takes sixth. So Vorst dropping back. Is she going to get pipped in the sprint here? I think she's just going to hold on. It is Vorst just ahead of Nagengast, then Van der Geyden, then Compton. Keogh in 11th. De Boer is going to take 12th. Nuno Palacio, the Spanish champion, looks pretty happy there to take 13th place. Petit. Marlene Petit, first of the French in 14th, and then Lechner 15th. Majorus 16th, and then it's going to be the French champion, Karine Mani, gasping for air as she comes in. Mani takes 17th. And then Bramaya 21st there, just ahead of Troyen. Heigl, the Austrian champion, just at the back of that group. But you can see the effort for these riders coming in. Great rides from Courtney McFadden and Clara Honsinger of the USA, taking 23rd and 24th place. So let's hear from the woman who wrapped up the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup title here with the win. We're going to hear from our race winner, Marianne Vos.
Marianne Vos, many congratulations. Your first World Cup GC ever. How does it feel?
Yeah, well, of course, really good. The goal for today was to do well in the individual race here in the Pont-Château, and I'm happy I could win, and yeah, well, in the meantime, could take the overall victory.
How tricky was the race course? Because we had some crashes from other riders.
Well, the speed is so high because it's fast and dry, and it has some up and down hills, and that makes it very tricky with the long curves. But yeah, that's of course also cyclocross, so it's a very demanding course.
Some very nice racing action there with Denise Betsema. Were you aware of the jumps there at the end of the lap, that was the moment to go?
Well, yeah, that's a very hard part because you have two pretty steep uphill slopes, and then you have the planks. So I was going for that and to make a final move there, but from there it's a slight downhill, but then still a long way up. So I knew I had to have a solid gap.
Congratulations, Marianne Vos, World Cup overall winner of this season. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's hard to believe, really, isn't it, that someone with the quality of Marianne Vos, it's her first World Cup overall title, but traditionally she's been spreading her efforts between the disciplines as well, so plus injuries in the past as well. But a worthy winner of the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup overall, and still a race to come, and that'll be on home territory, Geheide, to wrap things up. Perhaps a lap of honour for Marianne Vos, and certainly a dominant performance from the Dutch in the end. Vorst just dropping back, and that allowed Ellen van Looy to get into the top 5. Van Looy and Arzoufi in 5th and 6th, behind another very good ride from Celine del Carmen Alvarado, the young Dutch woman, coming in for 4th spot. And I think that is going to pretty much cement her title in terms of the Under-23 World Cup overall as well. Nagengast, who's been her closest challenger, she managed to come in 8th place. So Alvarado with 32 points advantage with 1 race to go. So it should be enough, I think, providing she can finish somewhere in the points. And Van der Geiden as well, another good ride from her. So the Dutch getting the 1, 2, 3 in both the elite and the U23 competitions. So we shall be seeing them all on the podium very shortly, as this big crowd, good crowd, very well-informed crowd here, and they've been cheering in the riders from all nations. See a little bit of bias, I think, towards the French that we've seen, but certainly it's been a warm welcome to everyone here in Pont-Château. And the crowd and press getting themselves ready for the podium presentations. Don't forget, you can join us later on today for the men's elite race. Coming up later at 3 o'clock Central European time. And big news from that, no Van der Poel. He is missing from the start list in the elite men. So it's really about the battle of the Belgians for the overall competition and the day. Toonarts against Wout van Aert coming up. But here it has been very much an orange day in Pont-Château, with the domination of the race by the Dutch. So quick calculations in terms of the points at the moment. And by my reckoning, Vorst has moved herself up into second place overall, just ahead of Sanakant, who wasn't racing here. She was she's currently in training conditions. So the world champion opting not to be here. And I'm not sure that even Sanakant would have been able to stop that performance from Marianne Vos. Certainly tighten up though now for the second and third spot in the on the overall podium with 1 race to go. Keogh still with a chance. She's only 28 points behind Vorst. Maybe Lois Sells, one of the big losers. She was in the running early on, but dropped right the way down through the field. And I think in the end, possibly didn't even finish. Just checking on my results here. Oh no, correction, she was in 19th, so not the best of finishes for Loisels. And that's going to drop her down the points a little bit. Alvarado still in with a chance of making the overall World Cup podium, as well as claiming the U23 title if she has a good ride in the final round. Legendary speaker Daniel Mongias is here and introducing everyone to the crowd. So we hope you've enjoyed the racing. Don't forget as well, you can go through all the results, check them over. Just go to uci.org, follow the pages for cyclocross. If you click on the link for the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup, you can find out all the results, all the breakdowns, the stats. And if you're going to be joining us later on, or you can't join us, but you still want to know what's happening in the men's race at 3 o'clock, remember we have live timing available on there as well. If you'd like to let us know what you think of the coverage or even the racing, please remember on Twitter, it is hashtag Telenet UCI CXWC. Instagram, UCI_cycling. And you can follow all of the information about cyclocross, UCI_CX, or Facebook, UCI Cyclocross. And please do join us on those platforms. So we will be bringing you the presentation very shortly. Here we go, ready for the award ceremony here, round 8 of the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup in Pont-Château, France.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please for the official award ceremony after this penultimate round of the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup today in Pont-Château, France.
Voilà, cérémonie protocolaire à la 3e place.
So third place after a very, very solid race. She challenged early on, but just couldn't quite stay with them. Maud Captians for Team Charles takes third place. Second place, Denise Betsema, the winner, of course, in Coxside for Marlock's Bingo. But the winner, great debut for the CCC Live colours. Marianne Vos from the Netherlands, arguably the best all-round cyclist of all time, takes the win, and that's going to be her 4th win of this season in the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup. It is going to wrap up the overall title for her as well. So Captians didn't quite have enough to stay with them in the last couple of laps, or last lap for sure. Betsma made a good run of it, but Marianne Vos was just too strong at the end. She timed it perfectly. Thought it might have possibly come down to a sprint, in which case she was still the favourite, but Vos timed it to perfection, accelerated into the hurdles, into the obstacles, sorry, and drove out of those so quickly back onto the power, and it gained her several meters lead just in a matter of seconds, and she didn't surrender that lead once she hit the tarmac ride climb up to the finish. So that is your winner today here in Pont-Château. Round 8 of the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup goes to the Netherlands and to Marianne Vos. And I think we're going to see the award of the leader's jersey for Marianne Vos. So the president of the UCI, Monsieur David Lapatillon, awarding the jersey. And of course, she is now the champion-elect with one race to go. She cannot be beaten in the point standings. And we're going to have the national anthem of the Netherlands. Well, plenty of experience of that for Marianne Vos, but extra special to share it with two compatriots. Netherlands taking 1, 2, 3. Marianne Vos taking the win then. Denise Betsma takes second place. Maud Kapteins taking third. And with one round to go, it's now all about second place, really, in the standings. Vos cannot be caught, but Sanakant's second place has slipped away, and Anne-Marie Wurst now is up to second in the standings. Kant, by my reckoning, is now third, just ahead of Keogh, Betsma, Alvarado. They're all in the mix now for the overall podium. And I think we should just be able to bring you the podium here for the U23 women. And again, it's Dutch 1, 2, 3 here. So, third place for Vos's CCC Live teammate Inge van der Geyden. Second place will go to Telenet Fedea Lions' Fleur Nagengast. And then the best under 23 rider here, just missing out on the day's podium as well. Céline Del Carmen Alvarado, the European champion, takes the win here, and she is going to be strengthening her grip on the U23 leaders jersey as well. So Alvarado, 327 points. Nagangas 295, Van Geiden 281. So providing Alvarado doesn't have any major problems, but Hugo she should be matching Mariana Vos and delivering a Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup title to the Netherlands and her Corendon Circus team.
De Loire-Atlantique à la lauréate qui nous vient également des Pays-Bas, Selene Telkarnen Alvarado, lauréate de l'épreuve. Catégorie 23.
So well-deserved congratulations to her. Once again, just missing out on the overall race podium. Another fourth place for her. Maybe we will see her stepping up in the final round of the series to get on to the elite podium as well. So don't forget, you can get all of the coverage of the final round with us here. And the best way to watch is with the supported action, with the live timing via the UCI.org website, so that you can get that fully immersive experience watching the competition unfold.
Staying in the lead in the overall ranking in the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup from the Netherlands, sailing Del Carmen.
So there you go. 2 Dutch wins, 2 Dutch Telenet UCI World Cup leaders. A very successful day for the Netherlands here in Pont-Château at round 8 of the Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup. So that is it from the action here at the women's race in Pont-Château. Just to remind you that the men's race action starts at 3 o'clock Central European time. Please do join us to see who can be the king of Pont-Château. Tunat comes to this race with a very slim lead. 7 points over Wout van Aert as they head through. And of course, no Mathieu van der Poel. So that's it. I've been Dan Jarvis, bringing you the action here from Pont-Château. Please join us again for more action from the 2018-19 Telenet UCI Cyclocross World Cup. But until then, goodbye.